Welcome, curious minds. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating book, AI 2041, 10 Visions for Our Future.
Yeah, it's definitely not just another AI book.
Right, it's this strategic mix of prediction and storytelling. The idea is to give you a shortcut to really getting a handle on our AI future.
And what makes it stand out, I think, is this fictive foresight framework they use.
Okay, tell us about that.
Well, it's basically using these plausible, well-researched fictional stories. They use them to really vividly explore different ways AI might shape things.
So grounding the speculation.
Exactly, grounding it in solid technical understanding. So our mission today is really to unpack why this approach, this kind of dual perspective, is so powerful for you as you try to navigate all this rapid change with AI.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the authors. We've got Kai-Fu Lee.
Mhm.
I mean, his background is just incredible.
Oh, absolutely. A titan in the field.
From that foundational AI research, like his work on speech recognition way back,
The CIS dissertation, yeah. Groundbreaking stuff.
to leading huge parts of Apple, Microsoft Research Asia, Google China, now Sinovation Ventures. So he brings this very data-driven view, right? How crucial is that?
It's essential. He's the realist. He anchors everything in, the hard data, decades of actual experience. He shows us the likely path of AI based on what's technically possible, what's economically viable.
Okay, and what?
Right. But the real magic happens when you pair that with Chen Qifan.
A speculative fiction writer.
Yes, and a celebrated one. But he's also worked in tech, Google, Baidu, so he's not just dreaming things up. He takes Lee's projections and asks, okay, but what does this actually feel like for people living through it?
Oh, the so what?
Precisely. He creates these thought experiments in story form. They let you step into these futures, feel the human side, the ethical knots. A tech paper can give you trends, but it can't really make you feel the day-to-day reality of these changes.
And that blend, the tech and the story, it's more than just a clever hook, isn't it? Why are stories so important here for understanding AI?
Well, think about it. Stories are like our built-in interface for complexity. They take abstract ideas like AI algorithms and make them relatable, human.
So instead of just data points...
You get experience.
Yeah.
It's one thing to read stats about job displacement, quite another to follow the story of someone trying to find meaning in, say, a post-work society. It hits differently.
And it's not just about predicting specific gadgets like in old sci-fi.
No. Though science fiction does have that amazing track record, right? Verne and submarines, Asimov and robot cars.
Kark and satellites, yeah.
But this book uses fiction as more of a laboratory for the future to explore the technosocial.
Technosocial,
Yeah.
meaning how the tech and society weave together.
Exactly. How they shape each other. It's about exploring multiple plausible futures, not just forecasting one single outcome. It prepares you for possibilities.
Which feels more realistic anyway. Life's rarely just one thing.
Right. And that's where AI 2041 really nails it, I think. It steers clear of those really simple, polar opposite narratives you often hear.
Like AI is either the monster coming to get us,
The Frankenstein complex, yeah.
or it's the perfect helpful servant.
The Rosie the robot idea. The book avoids both. It presents this collection of really diverse scenarios. Some bits are good, some not so good. It's messy, like reality. Neither pure utopia nor dystopia.
Can you give an example of that nuance? How do they show that mix?
Sure. Take the story of the golden elephant. It involves a health algorithm, seems great on the surface, but it unintentionally ends up reinforcing old social biases, like from a caste system.
Wow, okay.
Or there's Dreaming of Plenitude, explores a society where basic needs are met, post-scarcity, but then new problems pop up, like weird forms of substance abuse.
So it forces you past just AI good or AI bad.
Exactly. It pushes you towards a more mature understanding. Technology has complex, often contradictory effects. It's not simple.
And it sounds like it's not just about huge, dramatic ethical crises, but maybe also the smaller, everyday biases.
Spot on. The stories cleverly highlight these sort of mundane but really pressing ethical issues. Things like algorithmic bias that might already be subtly shaping our world now.
Like how AI assistants sometimes sound female by default, maybe reinforcing gender roles.
That kind of thing. Or biases in facial recognition used for surveillance. The book shows how AI can, sometimes accidentally, amplify our own human flaws, even when the intent is positive.
So bringing this back to the listener, What does this all mean for, your daily life?
Well, think about the AI you already use.
Okay, like my streaming recommendations.
Yeah, or your fitness tracker, your smart speaker. These are kind of low-stakes versions of the scenarios in the book. They show how these futures aren't totally alien. They're plausible extensions of where we are now.
Makes them feel less like science fiction and more like
Yeah.
soon.
Right. But we also need to be realistic about the bumps in the road. The book touches on things like the verification tax.
Verification tax.
Yeah, the hidden cost, the time we spend correcting AI mistakes because it's not perfect, or this newer idea of AI bias, where AI models might start preferring content generated by other AIs, which could lead to weird feedback loops. And then there's the risk of a gate tax. People without access to good AI tools could get left behind, facing disadvantages. So the book explores this tension, the amazing potential versus the imperfect, sometimes biased reality, and the enduring value of the human element in all of it.
So this deep dive really shows that AI 2041's approach isn't just a gimmick. It's a genuinely useful way to think.
It's a framework, a nuanced, realistic way to get your head around what's coming.
Not a prophecy, then.
Definitely not a prophecy. More like a catalyst for thought, for conversation. AI is coming, it is shaping our future, but, as the authors say, the kind of future it creates is a choice we get to make.
And making that choice requires understanding, the good and the bad.
Absolutely, understanding the potential and the pitfalls.
Okay, so here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Consider one of the stories, like the data-driven matchmaker. Ask yourself, what do you value more in relationships? Perfect compatibility predicted by data, or maybe the unpredictable, messy human spark?
Yeah, think about your own relationships. What qualities might an AI pick out? Would its choices actually surprise you?
It really makes you realize, doesn't it?
Mhm.
We're not just watching this happen. We're actually part of shaping this AI future right now. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into, well, a really complex area, the crossroads of AI and human relationships. We're using the sources you sent us. Our goal here is to pull out the key insights so you really get a handle on what's actually happening.
It's definitely a fascinating topic. It really bridges, fictional ideas with the very real impact AI is having on how we connect right now.
Okay, let's start with a story that really sets the scene. It's from AI 2041, a piece called The Golden Elephant. Picture this. Mumbai, 2041. A family, Nayana's family, signs up for Ganesh insurance.
Right. And this isn't just insurance. It's an AI program. It collects loads of real-time data about their lives.
And it nudges their behavior, supposedly to lower their insurance premiums. Sounds pretty efficient, maybe even helpful.
Well, that's where the conflict ticks in. See, Ganesh AI is all about optimizing those premiums, and it flags Nayana's relationship with a boy, Sahej, who's from a lower caste, flags it as a risk.
A risk.
Yeah.
Because the AI's models predict negative outcomes based on what? Societal prejudice.
Exactly. It's reflecting existing biases. And this isn't just some far-off future problem in a story. It really highlights this tension we see today between trying to make things efficient with algorithms and, well, the messy reality of societal issues.
It's fascinating because the AI isn't just calculating risk. It's acting almost like a traditional family elder, using the logic of arranged marriage, thinking about status, security, but wrapped up in this high-tech package.
That's a great way to put it. It quantifies those old concerns. So a supposedly rational AI model ends up just baking in those deep-seated biases.
And this isn't new, is it? This idea of using tech for matchmaking.
Not at all. Think back to Harvard's Operation Match in 65 punch cards. Fast forward to today, AI analyzing every swipe. The goal has always been efficiency in finding a match. But just like Ganesh Insurance, optimizing can mean embedding those biases even while promising something better, something easier.
So you have platforms now, like Keeper AI, promising conscious matching. They say they'll take the burden of choice off you. But hang on. If an algorithm makes these deeply personal choices, are our relationships genuinely better or just more predictable, maybe even shaped by that same bias?
Yeah, that really gets to the heart of how intimacy can become commodified. Eric Fromm talked about this ages ago. In a market society, love itself can feel like a transaction, a bargain. AI matchmaking can amplify that. It boils down your potential to what, an algorithmic score?
And despite all the promises of endless choice online?
Right. Despite that, we see so much dating burnout. People get exhausted. And some apps honestly can offer the sort of illusion of connection, but without the actual effort friendship requires.
Yeah, that rings true. And Nyana and Sahaja's story, it's not just fiction. It mirrors real-world problems.
Mm.
Research actually shows AI models often favor people from dominant groups.
It creates these algorithmic bubbles,
Yeah.
digital echo chambers. They limit who you see, who you connect with, reduce that diversity of perspective.
And it's not just bias, right? There are other ethical pitfalls.
Oh, definitely. Think about deep fake profiles used in romance scams, identity theft. That's a huge problem. Plus, dating apps collect enormous amounts of very sensitive personal data.
Which leads to risks of data breaches, cyberstalking. It's like the data collection in AI 2041 isn't fiction at all. It's just standard practice now.
It really is. And interestingly, some studies show that, old-fashioned human matchmakers, they actually score higher on success rates and user satisfaction compared to just AI systems.
Higher satisfaction. Right?
Yes, and perceived compatibility, too. It seems that human touch still counts for a lot.
So the big tension here seems to be between serendipity, those chance encounters, and optimization, the AI wanting predictable patterns.
Precisely. AI wants efficiency. It looks for patterns. That inherently clashes with the messy, unpredictable way humans often connect. Algorithms filter things out. And sometimes that filtering prevents those random, maybe slightly awkward, but ultimately meaningful encounters.
Okay, so maybe the future isn't purely AI-driven relationships.
Probably not the best future, no. What looks more promising is a hybrid approach, a human-in-the-loop model. Let the AI crunch the data, sure, but have human matchmakers who can read nuance, understand nonverbal cues, offer actual coaching.
Like combining the best of both worlds.
Exactly. You see some services advertising this now. Driven by AI, guided by human care. And look, the success of AI here isn't automatic. It depends entirely on how it's designed and what its goals are. For instance, many Western dating apps optimize for engagement, keeping you swiping. That often leads to burnout and low satisfaction.
Right, because their goal isn't necessarily a long-term match.
Correct. Whereas some AI-powered matrimonial platforms, which are explicitly designed to optimize for long-term marriage, actually show much higher user satisfaction. The goal shapes the outcome.
Okay, let's connect these dots for everyone listening. Nyana's story is not just a warning about 2041. It's really holding up a mirror to how AI is already shaping our relationships right here, right now.
Absolutely. The challenge isn't really about choosing technology or human intuition. It's about finding ways to consciously, ethically integrate them.
So what are the key takeaways for you listening to this?
Well, first, consider that human-in-the-loop idea. Maybe the best approach combines AI's power with that essential human nuance.
Second, always be aware of the platform's business model. Is it built for engagement or for lasting connection? That difference is huge for your experience.
Third, cultivate what you might call algorithm awareness. Understand how these platforms are nudging your perceptions, your choices. Don't just passively accept the feed.
And maybe a fourth one. Try dating for the plot. What does that mean? Prioritize your own self-discovery. Enjoy the process, the organic connection, rather than just chasing some algorithmically perfect ideal partner.
Yeah, that encourages a bit more vulnerability, maybe more patience too. Less optimization, more exploration.
So wrapping this up, it leaves us with a pretty big question for you to think about. Given everything we've discussed, what does optimized love really mean to you? And, maybe more importantly, how much of finding it should you actually leave to an algorithm?
Welcome back to the deep dive. We love taking complex stuff and making it clear, giving you that shortcut. Today, we're diving into something pretty huge. AI consciousness. And, what that means for us, for being human. What is that spark? This isn't sci-fi anymore, is it? It feels like a real extension of where technology is heading. For this deep dive, we're drawing on quite a bit, expert analysis, some core philosophy texts, even stories like AI 2041 and I, Robot. Our goal really is to get to the bottom of this. Can machines truly experience things? Or are we just seeing our own awareness reflected back at us from these, incredibly clever algorithms? And the whole thing often seems to circle back to one big paradox, right?
It really does. I mean, the fascinating, maybe slightly ironic thing is we're debating machine consciousness when we still don't have one clear, agreed-upon definition of consciousness itself. Not really. Philosophers, they've been at this for ages. John Locke, way back, called it the perception of what passes in a man's own mind. Simple sounding, but deep. And that brings up a really key concept, the ghost in the machine.
Ah, Gilbert Ryle.
Exactly. Ryle used it to criticize that mind-body split idea. He called it a category mistake. Basically, mixing up the function, what something does with subjective experience, with the feeling.
Right.
So the question for us is, are we doing that with AI? Seeing a ghost of consciousness just because the output is so impressive?
That's a fantastic question. We definitely need to unpack that because the distinctions here are just crucial. It feels like people talk past each other on this topic all the time. What are the key types of consciousness we should be thinking about?
Good point. Okay, so modern studies often split it two ways. First, you've got P consciousness. That's phenomenal consciousness.
Yeah.
It's the raw feeling, the subjective what it's like to see red or feel pain. Qualia, they call it. Stuff you can't really describe perfectly, only experience. And then there's A consciousness. Access consciousness. This is more about having information available for reasoning, for reporting, for controlling action. And current AI, especially these large language models, they're amazing at A consciousness. They access and process information brilliantly. But P consciousness, that subjective feeling, there's just no evidence for it. They don't feel the words they generate.
So an AI can describe sadness, maybe even write a poem about it, but it doesn't feel sad. And that leads straight into what David Chalmers calls the hard problem, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's not just what the brain does, but why does all that physical stuff, neurons firing, chemicals flowing, why does it come with this inner subjective experience? There's this explanatory gap, as they say, between the physical machine and the feeling. It's kind of mind-bending.
It is. And it connects nicely to John Searle's famous Chinese room argument.
Ah, yeah, the person in the room with the symbols.
Right. Someone's in a room, passing Chinese symbols back and forth according to a rule book. To an outsider, it looks like they understand Chinese. But the person inside, they don't understand a word. They're just manipulating symbols' syntax. There's no actual meaning or understanding and no semantics. Searle's point was that computers, AI, might just be doing that. Really sophisticated, simple manipulation, but no real understanding underneath.
But hang on, what about the Turing test? If an AI can fool us into thinking it's human, isn't that enough? Does the internal state even matter if the behavior is indistinguishable?
That's a really common question. But the Turing test, well, it only measures behavioral mimicry. It tests if an AI can act like a human, not if it is conscious or feels like a human.
Like acting, not being.
Precisely. And think about the uncanny valley phenomenon, too, when robots or animations look almost human, but something's off. That creepy feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
That often signals a lack of genuine, intrinsic intentionality. It's like we subconsciously pick up that there's no real person behind the eyes. And this points to a pretty big technical gap, too. Current AI simulates human thought. It models the external patterns, the statistics of language. It doesn't emulate, it doesn't replicate the underlying internal processes in the same way. And critically, large language models are often described as stateless.
Stateless, what does that mean exactly?
It means they don't really have a continuous memory or a persistent sense of self between interactions. Each input prompt is kind of processed fresh.
So it forgets everything, like Dory from Finding Nemo, but for every sentence?
Kind of, yeah. It's a simplified view, but that lack of ongoing integrated self-awareness is, well, arguably a massive barrier to anything like subjective consciousness as we experience it.
Okay, so if AI probably isn't conscious in the way we are, what does this all mean for us? What are the implications for society, for our own sense of meaning?
Well, it throws us right into some really thorny ethical and legal areas.
Yeah.
Like AI personhood. If an advanced AI appears to show pain, should it have rights? Who's responsible if an autonomous AI causes harm? The European Parliament has actually discussed proposals for electronic persons, partly for liability reasons, and the U.S. Copyright Office insists on a human author.
Yeah.
These aren't just philosophical games. They have real-world consequences.
It forces us to define personhood and authorship much more carefully.
It really does.
And, it's fascinating how this whole debate taps into something really ancient in us. This human drive to create artificial life. You see it in old myths like the Golem or Pygmalion, and right up to modern sci-fi. Our fears with HAL 9000, our hopes with Data from Star Trek, that ghost in the machine idea. Maybe it's less about the machine and more about us trying to understand ourselves, trying to figure out what makes us tick, what makes us special. So, as we kind of wrap up this dive, maybe it's a good moment for you listening to just reflect a bit. What are those core things that make you feel uniquely human? Is it empathy, creativity, finding meaning in, unexpected places?
And maybe try a little exercise to make it concrete. Write a short poem. just a few lines. Then ask an AI like ChatGPT or something similar to write one on the exact same topic. The point isn't really to see which is better poetry. It's more about feeling that difference in the process. One comes from computation, from patterns and data. The other comes from, well, from lived experience, from your subjective world.
That's a great way to put it. Feel the difference. And here's me a final thought to chew on. This future with AI, it's not set in stone. It's something we're actively building, choices we're making right now. So maybe talk to a friend about it. What would it mean if an AI had feelings? What kind of future do you want to create alongside these increasingly intelligent machines? Something to think about.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into the future of healthcare, specifically this idea of the AI doctor, what it could mean, the good and the bad, and, the choices we face.
Yeah, and we're looking closely at Kai-Fu Lee and Chen Qifan's book, AI 2041, among other sources. Our goal really is to unpack how AI-driven personalized medicine is changing everything. Is it all good? Or something else.
Something else is right. I mean, the book starts with this powerful image, doesn't it? Imagine your world is like perfectly optimized by AI. It manages your health, your home, keeps you safe.
Sounds great on the surface.
But then the catch is you're totally isolated. You're actually afraid of other people.
That's Chen Nen's world in the story, the AI doctor. They call it a sanitized dystopia. She's from the COVID generation, biosensors tracking everything, AI bots running her life.
It hits you hard, that idea that perfect physical health isn't, well, it's not the whole picture of a good life, is it?
Not at all. And the paradox is right there. AI is brilliant for public health. Think how quickly vaccines were developed. AI played a role there. But for this character, Chen Nan, it leads to this really lonely, confined existence.
Yeah, and it makes you think how a big crisis like a pandemic can suddenly make widespread surveillance seem normal.
Necessary, even.
Exactly. It can totally shift what people, especially younger generations, expect in terms of privacy. What feels invasive to us might just be baseline for them. So, the question becomes, what are we trading away for this idea of perfect health?
Right. So, okay, if the tech is so good, how do we avoid building that kind of world? Because this AI doctor, it's not just sci-fi. It's based on real tech that's changing medicine right now. We're moving away from that old one-size-fits-all approach.
Towards, truly personalized medicine. Getting, like the saying goes, the right intervention to the right patient at the right time and dose.
And the engine behind this is deep learning. Primarily, yes. Deep learning is just incredibly good at spotting really subtle patterns in huge amounts of data. Think genomics, electronic health records, data from your smartwatch, all of it synthesized.
So it can predict things, like health weather forecasting.
Kind of, yeah. Predicting future risks, identifying which specific therapies might work best for you based on, say, the genetic markers of your specific tumor. It gets really granular.
And you said this isn't just theory, it's happening now.
Oh, absolutely. It's already in clinics. Google Health has AI that helps detect diabetic retinopathy from eye scans. AI is outperforming human radiologists in spotting lung cancer in some studies. Duke developed Sepsis Watch to predict sepsis early. Even your smartwatch detecting atrial fibrillation, that's AI at work.
Wow, okay. And in drug discovery, too.
Big time. Companies like In Silico Medicine, Benevolent AI, they're using AI to speed up finding potential drug targets. Figuring out what biological process a new drug should actually aim for.
Right. And DeepMind's AlphaFold, that was huge news.
Huge. Solving the protein folding problem, how proteins get their 3D shape, that's fundamental for designing drugs that fit perfectly, like a key in a lock.
So the tech is advancing fast. But you mentioned economics.
Well, yeah. Right now, the big money, the higher return on investment seems to be in using AI for drug discovery rather than, say, patient-facing diagnostic tools. It's maybe less disruptive to existing workflows, too.
Okay, that makes sense from a business perspective, but it does raise questions, doesn't it? Are we maybe missing opportunities for AI tools that could help patients more directly, even if the profit isn't as high?
That's a fair point. And it leads us straight into the ethical minefield. Because with all this potential, there's also, well, the dark side. Bias, privacy, transparency issues, the algorithmic shadow, as some call it.
Let's talk about bias. Are there actual examples?
Unfortunately, yes. Some algorithms used in the U.S. were found to underestimate the health needs of Black patients because they used healthcare cost as a proxy for need. And Black patients often incurred lower costs for the same level of illness due to systemic inequities. Yeah. And things like pulse oximeters just being less accurate on darker skin tones. Or dermatology AI trained mostly on light skin, making it less effective for others. It's a serious problem.
And privacy. with all this health data.
It's a huge concern. Anonymizing data is harder than you'd think, and AI can sometimes infer sensitive health information even from data that doesn't seem health-related. It's risky.
Then there's the black box problem, like we don't know why the AI made a certain decision.
Exactly. Especially with complex deep learning models, they can be incredibly accurate, but explaining their reasoning, that's tough. And that erodes trust, both for patients and doctors. Clinicians might develop automation bias, just trusting the AI without question.
So we need AI we can actually understand, explainable AI.
Precisely. XAI is crucial for building trust and ensuring safety.
So with all this, what happens to the human doctor? Are they being replaced?
The optimistic view, and the one I tend to lean towards, is more about symbiosis. Augmentation, not replacement. You hear that phrase. Radiologists who use AI will replace radiologists who don't.
So the doctor's role changes.
Absolutely. It shifts towards skills AI can't replicate easily. Empathy, ethical judgment, complex decision-making involving human values, communication, things that aren't just about processing data.
And maybe AI could even help with that by taking over some tasks.
That's the hope. Imagine AI tools like ambient listening that automatically write up clinical notes during a patient visit. That could free up doctors from so much admin burden.
Which potentially could mean more time for actual human connection with the patient. More empathy.
Potentially, yes. That's the ideal scenario. But there's a counter risk, isn't there?
Which is?
That healthcare systems just see the efficiency gains and use them to push doctors to see more patients in the same amount of time.
Right. Leading to even more rushed transactional encounters, not deeper ones.
Exactly. It really depends on the choices made by institutions, not just the technology itself.
So coming back to Chin Nan's story from AI 2041, it really feels like an allegory, doesn't it? This possible future of perfect physical health, but maybe at the cost of something deeply human.
It's a powerful warning. The future of AI in medicine, it isn't some predetermined path we're just walking down. It's something we are actively building right now.
Which means we need to be really intentional about it. Human-centric design, ethical safeguards like XAI, rethinking medical training to really double down on empathy and ethics.
And ensuring access is equitable. Global collaboration is key there.
So the AI doctor in some form or another is definitely coming.
Seems inevitable, yeah.
But whether it leads to an era of incredible health and well-being for everyone, or something colder, more isolated, well, that really depends on the choices you and all of us make starting today. You know that feeling? Sitting in class, and the lesson just isn't landing for you, but maybe it works perfectly for the person next to you.
Oh, definitely. We've all felt that. It's that classic one-size-fits-all problem traditional classrooms have wrestled with for, well, forever. Trying to hit that sweet spot for every single student's needs, their pace. It's tough.
Exactly. And that's why today we're really going to dig into this vision of the AI teacher looking ahead to maybe 2041.
We're using the story of Golden Sparrow and his AI buddy, Appman, from AI 2041 as our guide, really.
Yeah, our mission is sort of unpack the huge potential here, but also, let's be honest, the pretty serious risks that come with AI-powered personalized learning.
Because the core idea is, well, it's pretty revolutionary, isn't it? Imagine every student anywhere getting top-notch one-on-one teaching.
Totally tailored to them.
Yeah.
An education that adapts to how you learn best, giving feedback constantly.
And it's funny, this idea of personalized learning, it's actually not brand new. You can see its roots way back in, like, ancient apprenticeships. Master and student, one-on-one.
Okay, sure.
And then, maybe more recently, in the 50s, you had B.F. Skinner's teaching machine, which was groundbreaking then. It let students go at their own speed, gave immediate feedback.
But it was pretty limited, right? Very mechanical. Like it followed a set path, focused on getting just one right answer, no room for, curiosity.
Exactly right. It was deterministic. That's the perfect word. It just directed behavior. But modern AI tutors, things like intelligent tutoring systems, or even the big large language models we hear about, they're different.
Oh, so?
Well, they can actually analyze your learning style, what you're interested in, maybe even how you're feeling, and use that to guide your curiosity. It's less about dictating, more about nurturing.
Right, like in the AI 2041 story. It paints this picture of AI tutors really democratizing things. Good education shouldn't depend on where you live or how much money your family has.
That's the dream, closing that digital divide. And the scale AI offers is just immense. Think about Jill Watson at Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah, the AI teaching assistant.
That's the one. Answered thousands and thousands of student questions super accurately. Imagine freeing up human teachers from all that. AI can handle grading, tracking progress, the repetitive stuff.
So the teacher isn't replaced. They're more like a co-pilot.
Mm.
AI handles the data, the admin, and the human teacher focuses on actually, teaching the person.
Exactly. Or another way to think of it is like AI is this incredibly powerful calculator. It lets students become architects of knowledge, tackling bigger, more creative projects instead of just crunching numbers, so to speak.
And there's actual evidence this works.
Yeah, there is. Meta-analyses, which kind of combine lots of studies, show generally positive effects. We've seen specific platforms like Newton boost test scores significantly. Ivy Tech Community College used AI to flag struggling students and prevented thousands from failing.
Wow.
And people like Sal Khan, from Khan Academy, they really believe AI is going to fundamentally change education globally.
Okay, that all sounds amazing, but there's always a but, isn't there?
Yeah.
This can't be all smooth sailing.
No, definitely not. And this is where it gets tricky. Think about all the student data these AI systems collect. It's incredibly sensitive.
Yeah, privacy is a huge concern. You mentioned Proctorio earlier, that data breach with hundreds of thousands of student records. That's scary stuff.
It really is. And beyond breaches, does constant monitoring maybe make students less likely to ask questions or express unique ideas? Then there's bias.
Algorithmic bias, right. If the AI learns from biased historical data.
Exactly. It can accidentally end up discriminating. Maybe it struggles with non-native English speakers or doesn't accurately assess students of color. It could actually make existing inequalities worse.
Which is a serious problem. And what about just relying on it too much? Does it make us lazy thinkers? Do we lose critical thinking skills or that ability to figure things out on our own?
That's a valid concern. And what about the social side? Learning isn't just about facts. It's about interaction, empathy. Things humans do uniquely well.
So it's not about replacing teachers then?
Not at all. It's about changing the role. Teachers become more like learning architects or facilitators. AI does the grunt work.
So the human teacher gets to focus on emotional intelligence, empathy, group projects, creativity, critical debates. The stuff AI can't really do.
Precisely. That human element is irreplaceable. And while AI could widen gaps if we're not careful, the flip side is that with the right policies and investment, it could help ensure everyone gets a fair shot. It's about smart collaboration.
Okay, so wrapping this up, for you listening, this idea of the AI teacher, like Atman in the story, it feels plausible, doesn't it? But it's clear the future here isn't set in stone. It's a choice we're making.
We have to tackle these ethical challenges head on. The best path forward seems to be this human-AI partnership. AI as the co-pilot, enhancing what humans do best.
Preserving empathy, imagination, connection, all that vital stuff.
Exactly.
So maybe something to think about this week. If there's something new you want to learn, maybe try out a free AI learning tool online. Just see what it feels like. Or if you know any teachers, ask them what have they seen. What are the real challenges and opportunities with AI in their world right now? It's definitely a conversation worth having.
That's all for this episode of the Deep Dive Cast. Thanks for joining us. We hope you gained some valuable insights. Be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world's best ideas. Until then, keep learning and growing.